With the government spending people's tax dollars, I say money wasted is money well spent. Hi, peon. Pay your taxes. And welcome to We Lie to You News. Tonight we'll have a special report on why you definitely want to pay your taxes. And tonight's episode is brought to you by the IRS. Now, tax day has come and gone, and it turns out some of you haven't paid your taxes. Some people have false conclusions about how the government spends their hard-earned money, which makes them hesitate on handing over a minimum of a third of their income that they work day in and day out for to provide for their families, but mostly for their government. Tonight, our government-sponsored investigative journalism will uncover for you all the beneficial ways that the government spends your money, which is sure to incentivize you to pay your taxes properly. In fact, you'll probably want to send in more than you actually owe just to support the good works that they do with your money. Ukraine. Need I say more? Through no choice of your own, in the name of protecting and defending America, we've sent over $150 billion to Ukraine to support a losing war effort. It's like replicating the best of the Vietnam War, only adding in the bonus that the more we send your money to Ukraine, the faster we're intentionally starting World War III. Leaving a legacy of massive death and nuclear fallout will leave the world virtually uninhabitable for you, your children, and future grandchildren. Have you ever wanted to vacation at Chernobyl? Well, we're bringing Chernobyl to you, and everywhere else for that matter. And we absolutely couldn't fund our wise decision to do so without your money. So pay your taxes. The Taliban. Of course, 2 years ago, upon a rather abrupt withdrawal from Afghanistan that didn't go super well due to the fact that Mercury was in retrograde, the government handed over more than $85 billion in military equipment and weapons to one of the most dangerous terrorist organizations on the planet, the Taliban. And thank you for paying for the $85 billion worth of weaponry for us to arm our enemies with. And you might say, that's great, I obviously approve, but that's all in the past. Well, how happy would you be if I told you your tax dollars may still be going right to the Taliban? Unbelievable, right? Well, check out Special Inspector John Sopko.
I cannot assure this committee or the American taxpayer we are not currently funding the Taliban. Nor can I assure you that the Taliban are not diverting the money we are sending from the intended recipients, which are the poor Afghan people.
That's pretty good. Try funding the Taliban on your own. It's pretty hard to do. That's why the government steps in as the postal carrier pigeon that takes your money right to their front door, steps over the decapitated bodies of their victims, and delivers it right to their blood-covered terrorist hands. This just in! You might be thinking that you would get more benefit if the government just burned your money instead of spending it in the destructive ways that they do. Now that might be technically correct, but it wouldn't be any fun that way. Now it turns out that some people are so greedy with their money that they feel entitled to keep some of it. But I assure you, with the rather convincing force of 87,000 armed IRS agents, your money is obviously much better off in the hands of the government than yours. Did I mention that our new 87,000 comrades at the IRS are armed? Now, we are 100% against guns and think they should be banned completely. Only exception is that we think the IRS should be fully armed with guns that are intended to be used against you, the citizens who paid for their guns to be used against you. But because innocent taxpayers can be rather hard to control, the IRS certainly needs more guns. So pay your taxes. Abortions. Now, you might not be willing to kill babies yourself because you're a dangerous right-wing extremist, but we're on a mission to force you to pay for other people to kill babies through taxpayer-funded abortions. This lets you contribute to infanticide while getting none of the blood directly on your hands. So pay your taxes. Bailing out banks. If you come upon hard times, rest assured that the government will be happy to leave you high and dry. But when big banks are irresponsible enough with your money to go under, don't worry. the government will use more of your money to bail out the banks. So pay your taxes. Salaries for criminals. You may have seen Biden's now former nuclear energy secretary, Sam Brinton, in the news. His pronouns are he, she, felon. Now, in between sessions of putting on lipstick and doing the tuck and pee-pee dance, he was committing plenty of felony theft. And Sam was specifically hired by government officials whose salaries you pay for, and he, she self was paid a salary that you pay for. And these types of expert hiring decisions are what the government specializes in, and you make it possible. Hi, Sam. Thank you for coming in for the interview. Are you white? Yes. Well, damn it. Are you at least mentally ill? You are. Well, you are hired, good sir, ma'am, felon. Now pay your taxes. Free shots. For the past 3 years, your government has been trying to coerce you into taking a shot that's so safe and effective that it was recently taken off the market because of how dangerous it is. And the best part is, these shots have been free. Here's how they're free. The government takes your hard-earned tax dollars and gives them to Big Pharma. And then they turn around and offer you a free shot. It's free because whether you want it or not, you already paid for it. And we think you're dumb enough to believe they're free. So pay your taxes, dummy. Now, a few additional ways that you might not know about that the government wisely, responsibly spends your tax dollars for your benefit. As reported by the Gateway Pundit, the government funded a $560,000 study to analyze fish being forced to exercise on a treadmill to the point of exhaustion. Results of the study? Well, it turns out fish don't have legs and therefore can't use treadmills. But we never would have found this out if you didn't pay for this $500,000 groundbreaking study. The government also spent $150,000 to study the ability of gingerbread houses to withstand earthquakes. Results? Well, gingerbread houses don't withstand earthquakes very well because they are, in fact, gingerbread houses. So don't live in one. Thanks to how your government spends your money, now you know. So pay your taxes. In conclusion, statistically speaking, 95% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years. This is because they don't inherently know how to wisely steward their money because they didn't earn it due to the fact that it was just handed to them. Given that the government isn't broke, but instead even worse has over $31 trillion in national debt, you might jump to the conclusion that the government doesn't know what they're doing with your money, just like lottery winners. But that would be false. Because unlike lottery winners who run out of their money after spending it like idiots, the government uses you to continually replenish their stock of money that they don't know how to manage. That's it for tonight's special report on why you should pay your taxes. You can sleep well at night knowing half the money you earn is for the government and will go to intelligently selected programs that will reward you by providing a better life for people in Ukraine. Go pay your taxes. Good night.